Hello again, this is Drew Arrett. I got a tutorial today for you on Google Forms. And so we'll just be going over kind of the basics of how to create a form, what kind of questions are available, and then what the data looks like once you get it back. So Google Forms is Google's survey tool. It's been around for quite a while, but it's as with most Google products, they're continuing to refine it, and it's gotten to a level where it's pretty quick and easy to create a survey and to get your data back and start analyzing it. So what you need to know first is it's just like any other Google tool in that in your Drive, you just go to New, and then instead of selecting like a doc or a sheet or a slide, you go down to More, and then Google Forms is available. So I'm just in my Drive right now, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a Google form. When you click create it, it pulls up just a blank template. Up at the top here, you can give your form a title. I'm just going to call mine Tester Survey. Then you'll notice that links to the title of your form up here. You can add a description. I'm going to put just a tester to show how Google Forms works. And then we're off and running. So you'll notice that I've got two tabs up here at the top, questions and responses. I have nothing under responses right now because nobody's taken my surveys. So that makes sense. But once I have some responses, I'll have data here, and then you can also break it down and create a spreadsheet too, but we'll talk about that here in a minute. So what are the types of questions that you can ask on a Google survey? Well, it always starts you off with just a default one question here that you need to start with. And then once you're in that, you can see there's several different things going on here. First, this is your actual question. So this is kind of like, what kind of question do you want to ask? Okay. And then we can change that over here. You can see we can add a picture if we want. That would go along with our question, or we can switch our question type. So we've got several different kinds here, actually quite a few. Probably understand what most of them mean. Short answer is just like a real quick typed in response. Paragraph is a lengthier typed in response. Multiple choice, check boxes, drop down menu. You've got linear scale or multiple choice grid, and then you've just got places where they can enter dates and times as well. So we'll just leave it on multiple choice for the time being. So once I've got my multiple choice question in, then I can start typing in options down here. So what kind of question do you want to ask? We could put in here multiple choice, short answer. And I'm just hitting tab and tabbing down to the next response. Check boxes. And then I can always add in, and I can do it, as far as I know, I can do as many responses as I want. Or I can click in add other option, and then it's got an other down here. So this is kind of what the basic bones of a question looks like. You can see that I got these 6 dots. I can move my answers around here so I can reorder them after I get them done. You'll notice that for questions, they have the same thing up here. Now, we've only got one question so far, so I can't move it, but that's what those things mean right there. You'll also notice that for each answer, I can also add an image as well. So I could do, a completely image-based survey if I wanted to, which is kind of cool thing here. Down here at the bottom, I've got a couple of other options. One is duplicate, which actually comes in handy because you can make some quick questions that way. Delete, to just completely delete it. I can make a question required so people have to answer it. Or you can go through and I can go to selection based on answer, shuffle option order, add a description. Those are all other things that we can do. So this question's good. I don't need to add any more to it. I'm happy with it. What do I do next? Like I said, I can either duplicate if I want another multiple choice or a similar question, or I can go ahead and add a new question, which I do by just clicking this button here. and then it will add a question below. And now you can see I have the option to move this question around. So there's a few other options over here on kind of your little toolbar. I can add a title and a description, okay, which then can be moved around to different areas. And I just deleted that. I can also add an image, so I can put in a specific image in my survey that I want people to look at. I can add a video from YouTube, okay, and you can see there's a search here where I can search for something, or I can add in the URL, and I can add a video, or I can add a different section where I can make it kind of broken up into a couple of different sections, so it'll continue like on different pages, okay. And I'm going to go ahead and delete that section now as well. So that's how you add another question. Now I got my question here. Let's say I added my question. It was multiple choice. I changed my mind. All I have to do is come over here and switch it, and I can change it to like a checkboxes option, or I can change it to a paragraph response, whatever I want. I'm just going to put write a paragraph. Okay, so those are kind of your basics of how to create a form, but it's not quite ready for people to take yet. What I need to do to get it ready is I can come up here, and I've got another couple of options up at the top. Color palette is I can change what color my survey is. I mean, it really doesn't do a whole lot, though, to be honest with you. I can add an image up here. Google's got several built-in images that you can use, or you can upload your own. This button allows me to preview my survey, which seems like a good idea at this point. So I got tester survey, and then you can see actually what it looks like, and you can even take it from this link here to make sure everything's working the way you want it to work. And then we've got settings as well. So in the settings menu, you've got several options. You can see at the top here we got several tabs: general, presentation, quizzes. Quizzes I'm going to cover in another video. We're going to focus on just general and presentation for the time being. So I can restrict it so only people in my organization can take the quiz. I can check this box to automatically collect the email addresses of people in my organization, and that way I know exactly who's taken the test. They don't even have to be in oh, maybe they do. They do have to be in my organization to do that. I can limit it to one response. I can give response receipts if they request it, or always. And then I can change a couple of settings down here to say whether or not I want them to be able to edit their responses and whether I want them to be able to see the results. So that's how all those things come into play there. Presentation is just a few presentation options for how it's going to be done. I can show a progress bar, I can shuffle question order, and I can say a specific message like "Thank you for taking my survey," and then they'll see that after they've done taking the survey. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to uncheck those, and I'm going to click Save. So I saved all my settings. Now, how do I actually get somebody to take my survey? There are a couple different ways. Click this Send button here, and this gives you all your options. Number one, you can actually email it to people if you want. Number two, I can just send them the link, okay, or I can post this link somewhere. And number three, I can embed this on a website if I want to. Or you can see I can share it on Google, Facebook, Twitter, any of those things as well. I usually just send emails with the link in it. That's what I think is the simplest way, but you are free to, if you already have an email list built in or something like that, that's a way you can do it as well. So let's go ahead and let's take a minute to look at a survey that I've already built, and we can see what kind of information comes up. So this is one I did for my students on how they can use technology, or how they do use technology. And you can see this is about, a 10-15 question survey. Quite a mix. I've got some paragraph responses. I got some check boxes, some multiple choice, some drop downs. So I got a little bit of everything in here. These are some of the scale questions that are available. So what you want to see though is the responses. So you can see that I've had 61 students take this quiz. And when I click on this, I can see, okay, so once we've got switched over to our responses tab, then it's nice because it gives you a little bit of breakdown and it gives you a visual for each response. Now, it kind of gives you what it thinks would be the ideal graph for your data. So for multiple choice questions, it'll give you a circle graph. For your scale questions, it gives you a bar graph. In these things, we can get into specific different types of graphs and things, and how you can play with your data a little bit more if you have it create a spreadsheet for you, which we'll talk about for you in a second. But I like this because it's just quick visual feedback on what people are responding to. And 9 out of 10 times, I don't ever even need the rest of the stuff. This is just fine as far as what I need. But you can see how it gives you like a nice little breakdown for each response. And this is good because if you're sharing it with people, it gives them something instantly to look at instead of a spreadsheet, which is nice. Now, paragraph responses, it just lists them all down here. It just lists them all right in a row, which can be a little overbearing at some points, but it's there if you want to sift through each of it. So it's just a nice summary of your data all around. Now notice that I'm on a summary of responses here. I can also click individual, and then I can go through and I can look at each individual survey if I want. Now I rarely use this when I'm just trying to collect data, like big picture stuff, but it's nice to know that it's there. You can also see up here we got a couple of other things. I can click this off so I'm no longer so I can shut it down so I won't receive any more responses. And then like I was talking about here, I've got another little option menu and I've got this little spreadsheet menu. So the option menu, I can get email notifications whenever somebody submits a response. I can print all responses. I can download a CSV file. I can select a response destination if I've already got a spreadsheet created. I can delete all responses if I want to reuse this survey later. Like if it's a reoccurring survey every year, I can delete old responses. And then this one right here, this might be something that you'd be interested in using, is I can create a spreadsheet and it will automatically create a spreadsheet in my drive with all of this data in it. And then you've got your big data and you can really crunch some numbers if you want to and if those summaries aren't good enough for you. But I'm not going to go into all that, but just know that it's an option if you need it. So that's kind of your overview of how to create a Google form. I know it was quick. I know there was a lot of information in there, but really I just recommend that you give it a shot and try it because it's pretty easy and it's a very efficient tool for collecting data. As always, get in contact with me if you have any other questions about it. I will be making a video shortly on how to create a self-grading quiz using Google Forms as well. Thank you.